using TikTok again. Never using TikTok again. I'm uninstalling it from my phone. I'm done with TikTok. Goodbye. I'm done. Screw that company. The hell is this? Okay, so it's time to go on a little ramble about TikTok. I am leaving that platform. I'm never going to use TikTok again. I'm never going to watch a video. I'm never going to support a creator. I'm done with the whole platform. Because I tried to stream this morning and I wasted 30 minutes trying to find my stream key. And it is nowhere to be found. They removed the stream key from the streaming service so that you can't multi-stream on other platforms and use the and go live on TikTok that way. So that was enough for me to give up on it. I'm not using TikTok anymore. And one day everybody will wake up to the fact that TikTok is garbage. So until that day, I'm gonna stay on YouTube. waste my time. There's nothing more precious in the universe than my time. I want you to slay a certain Ffxiv called Ironbeak. It killed my brother while we were gathering abandoned timber near Mount Byron Mines. I was the one who dragged him along to that godforsaken place, and he died protecting me. Ever since that day, thoughts of avenging him occupy my every waking moment, but I'm no hunter. They knew the risks when they signed up. It's not only for my peace of mind that I want that wretched bird dead. It's been terrorizing anyone careless enough to wander into its territory. So you'd be doing the whole of the twine a favor by killing it. Okay, got it. Shut up. I've been playing this character for 30 days. Holy crap. Others that need us. If you're willing to take on some more work, we'd be glad for your assistance. We actually came here not to gather rocks and such, as you might expect in a mine, but timber. We're not here to repair our house, and we're hoping to repair our house, and we'll take whatever we can get our hands on. In fact, rather than have you guard us, it might be more efficient to have you collect wood too. Let's split up, but keep a close eye on each other and try not to wander. Alright? Ba ba ba. Ba 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 ba. Da, na, na, na. Ba, na, 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 da, da. What have you found? I found discarded timber. Here you go, buddy. Nice and strong, free from rot. That should be good enough for now. The two of us will carry this back to Twine. By the sounds of it, Aneen was planning on paying you for coming to our rescue, so I'll let her throw in the coin for helping with the timber too. I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. Do 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 do. I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. Dun, dun. It is the only one game that's for me. Ooh, a person. Dork. Dessler. It's a people. Hey there, sinner. I broke the bad news to the widow of that scavenger while you were away. She took it about as well as you'd expect. After she'd cried herself hoarse, I stopped asking her about the choker and where her husband had got it. Seems he and his mates took a trip to Ilmeg a year or so back, hoping to cart off all the Vobertite treasures they could carry from an untouched ruin they learned about. Of course, in their greed, they neglected to account for the Ffxiv who killed or drove mad most of them. Those who survived didn't come away empty-handed, though. In fact, they'd stumble upon a remarkable find: 3 sacred treasures of the royal family. They escaped with two, the Fangs of Orthus being one of them, which was sold by another scavenger to a Yulmoran. Either that merchant you met at the Beehive or an agent of his, I'd wager. So the merchant gives it over to Melinda for restoration, after which Nicayasign attacks Wright, presumably because he's after it as well. Meanwhile, the scavenger here in Mord Sook keeps the choker, the Eyes of Orthus, locked away for safekeeping, and when he finally decides to sell it, The sinless bastard shows up again. No idea what's going on. Which brings us to the here and now. Damned if I know why, but at this point there's no denying that the Kaiosine's been hunting the royal relics. And so, assuming he hasn't already claimed the third one, the Claws of Orthus, then I say we should get our hands on it first and then use it to lure him out of hiding. But to that end, we'll need to venture into the fairy kingdom ourselves. Those scavengers didn't receive the warmest welcome, and we're not like to be treated any better. I've traveled to Ilmeg before. Have you now? And the little devils let you go? I can only assume they've taken a liking to you. That settles it then. We'll head to Ilmeg and ask about this Vobertide ring. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, oh, ba 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 I'm playing another Ffxiv. I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. You must be a traveler, yes? Then maybe you can help me. I was looking around an abandoned house and I found a map of Amarang with a big cross drawn to it. It could only mean one thing: treasure. I want to go and look for it, but I have to stay here and guard the village. Could you go in my stead? If there are any shinies to be had, we can share them, yes? Here, take my spade and dig where the cross is. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Ba 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 ba. It's a dire emergency. Dire indeed. You must help. Follow me. I will explain everything. Uh-oh. Ooh, what to do? What to do? I want to make traditional moored stew, and I only need one more ingredient, amberweed. But it has become scarce around here, except for in an area that is plagued by evil weapons. Funny name, not so funny when they're trying to kill you though. There's an especially horrible one called the Wandering Weapon who the others seem to follow. If you could get rid of it, the rest might leave us alone. Then I can finally harvest amberweed in peace. So, will you help us? I've got that badass jingle, man. How can I say no? Hear my plea, noble traveler. My son was playing with his favorite gemstone and somehow it ended up on that balcony up there. I told him, if it is so precious, he should stop throwing it around like that. But alas, my words fell on deaf ears. It looked so pretty, spinning through the air. Oh, how it sparkled. Enough of that, you fool! Ahem. As you can see, it is too high for any of us moored to reach. We are simply not built for such acrobatics. I have a feeling you would fare better. This way, please. Do ba 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 ba. I have seen you around, traveler. You like making yourself useful, yes? There is work for you if you're willing. One of the lizards that I raised for meat escaped some time past. I thought it would have been eaten by predators by now, but a miner from Twine said that it attacked her, and seems to have grown into quite the brood. Which brings me to the job in question. I want you to put a stop to its mischief. Kill it, in other words.
I would recommend softening its hide first with a splash of this oil. Once you have taken care of it, bring me its meat. No point letting it go to waste. I heard it was prowling around the outskirts of the village to the west, and I will know from the smell if you attempt to fob me off with meat from another lizard, so do not even try. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Sprinting to the next NPC. Where is that nephew of mine? I sent him to Twine on an errand a while ago, and he has not returned. If your travels happen to take you that way, could you keep an eye out for him? Knowing him, he probably forgot to take any water and is lying in a ditch somewhere. Perhaps you should take this, just in case. If he is thirsty, give him some to drink, and if he is sleeping, pour it on his head to wake him up.
Ba-ba-ba-ba. One more quest to grab. I say, I was wondering if you could help me. My chocobo and I are carrying goods from the Castarium, and we stopped off along the way to make use of a local well. Unfortunately, some of the residents did not take too kindly to our presence. They pelted us with clumps of a strange-smelling powder, and we were forced to run. Terrible business, I tell you. Worst of all, I didn't even have the chance to draw any water. Unless I refill these skins, I fear we will have no choice but to turn around and go home. I did manage to catch the name of one of the Mord who came after us. Gilgil, they called him. I don't suppose you can have a word with them and find out why they took such offense. Ba-ba-ba-ba.
With your strong legs, you should be able to reach the roof by jumping from that plank over there. Though the endeavor may be fraught with peril, you must get my son's gemstone back, or I shall never hear the end of it.
Where we go?
Yes, gemstone. Where's my gemstone?
Here you go, kid.
I thought I would never see it again. I'm so happy. Father gave this to me. See how it shines? I want to see it twinkling from above like a star. But if you want to see stars, you need only look into the night sky. Yes, Mother, you are right. This is my star. I shall keep it with me always. Though we may never be able to repay your kindness, honorable stranger, please accept this as a token of our gratitude. I will never forget you. Ba, 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 ba. Yes, we chased them off before they were being because they were being followed by a pair of amber iguanas. Very dangerous they are. We cannot have people bringing them into the village. But if you kill those two iguanas, your friend can use the well. Of course, the ones that were following him would be best, but who can tell the difference? Any of them will do. I want proof, though. Bring me some of their meat, then we'll talk. Alright. Moving on. Getting the content done. Content is content. Everything is content. Every moment is more content. Hi, Miracat. How's your grind going? Mine's going well. Uh-oh. Where's my hostile presence? Was that it? Alright, cool. That was the wandering weapon. Pretty cool, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm not buying any art. If you want to sell me art, I'm not buying. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Bum, bum. Do you play Final Fantasy XIV? You do not. I see. Well, it's nice to meet you.
I'm not buying any art. Ba, 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 ba. Da, 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 na, 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 na. Powder from the dried fish of amber iguanas and mixed with herbs. They cannot stand the smell, so we scattered it on ourselves to keep them away. Right on. What's this? I see. So they're willing to let us in, provided that we cover ourselves in this powder? I see the logic. In fact, I fear we owe Gilgil and the others an apology. I'll feel a lot better about using their well once we've had a chance to clear the air. Of course, if it weren't for your help, we'd either be going home empty-handed, dying of thirst in the desert, or even being eaten by those horrible iguanas. 1,000 thank yous. Do-do-do-do. A lot of help on this guy. He must have fallen off the cliff. Oh boy. Getting kind of hungry. I'm gonna go eat food. I'll be right back.
But in this day and age, it's impossible to prevent piracy. So if you can't beat them, join them. What you're about to watch is the coded of the original 4K 10-bit 5.1 master files that we had made for the movie. So please, enjoy. And afterwards, if you're feeling like maybe throwing a little bit of lucre our way so that we can continue making movies, you can do so at ipiratedwereallgonnadie.com. Thanks. Enjoy. Pay what you want for this JPEG.
He's dropping the goddamn IMAX version here with the Dolby surround sound. Like the bells and whistles here, making sure that if someone is going to pirate his movie, they get the best possible experience with it. And if they really like the movie and they feel so inclined, maybe they toss him some money afterwards. I think it is a great move. Freddie Wong, one of the OG greats of YouTube, posted something very interesting in how he's handling piracy with his new movie.
I have waited my entire film career to be able to pull this move. This is our movie. It just came out today for digital download or rentals. I'm also putting it up on the torrent networks, but I've added...
I turn on to pack. Best friend told us you better get back. I turn on to pack. Best friend told us you better get back. I turn on to...
Come with me again for Japan's most English. Let's go. Ffxiv of Wee West. The troll rose have thorns. Guto getter. Look on the bright side, holiday breather. What do you work for? What? Beautiful gift from my fraternity. I want us to eat nice ink. I said to Sunset about you. Handy Stella, the place to get joy. Houston versus all y'all. #fish. Come with me again for Japan's most English. Let's go. Ffxiv of Wee West.
Who do you think is the most extraordinary scientific mind that that humanity has produced?
There is no contest. Isaac Newton. Nothing. Nobody comes close.
Explain why.
He, working alone, discovers the laws of motion. Then discovers the law of gravity, universal law of gravitation. Integral and differential calculus to answer that question. He then discovers the laws of optics, deducing that white light is composed of colors. Because you can take those same colors, recombine them, and get white light, which freaked out artists of the day. So he does all of this. Then he turns 26.
Who do you think is the most extraordinary scientific mind that that humanity has produced?
There is no contest. Isaac Newton. Nothing. Nobody comes close.
Explain why.
He, working alone, discovers the laws of motion. Then he discovers the law of gravity. Universal law of gravitation. Oh, and then someone asked, Ike, or I don't know what they call him, Ike, why do your planets orbit in this shape, ellipses, the ovals, rather than perfect circle? They said, I don't know, I'll get back to you. And he goes home, and he comes back, I finally have my answer. And I said, well, Isaac, how did you do that? Well, I had to invent integral and differential calculus to answer that question.
Are you two gonna make? Believe me, when this player accidentally missed the ball, he shocked the world. He immediately stopped and realized that missing the ball wasn't his fault. He began inspecting the court, noticing that the ball kept bouncing unevenly. He checked that the ball was bouncing less in one spot and more in another. Then Stephen Curry identified the dead spot on the court, showing that a player truly knows his game, and in this case, the floor wasn't right. Believe me, when this player accidentally missed the ball, he shocked the world. He immediately stopped and realized that missing the ball wasn't his fault. He began inspecting the court, noticing that the ball kept bouncing unevenly. He checked that the ball was bouncing less in one spot and more in another. Then Stephen Curry identified the dead spot on the court, showing that a player truly knows his game, and in this case, the floor wasn't right. Believe me, when this player accidentally missed the ball, he shocked the world. He immediately stopped and realized... Believe me, when this player...
How was your experience with being part of something when you're a kid that's gonna last for the rest of your life?
It's a mixed bag. This is my first, I guess, return wave. I didn't have cable growing up, so I wasn't watching along, and anytime I was at like a friend's house, I would glue my eyes to their screen and like absorb every Disney and Nickelodeon, whatever, like content, big like Kim Possible, That's So Raven,
Yep.
you know, Liz McGuire, all that. So I didn't know the development, and you know, we didn't have social media, so we couldn't really tell the impact at that time.
Exactly.
People were fans, and like if I met people in person, they'd be like, "Oh, cool, I love that show." But other than that, how are you gonna know?
Also, you're a voice, not a face.
Ba 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 da ba 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 ba. Show me what you found. Show me, and give me my spade back, please.
Here's the spade, here's your chest. Now give me my gill and let me continue my completion.
Oh, this must be very old. Let us see what is inside. What? Nothing but junk? Rusty junk at that. Why would anyone bury this? Wait, is that a diary? I'm sure the former owner will not mind if I take a peek. It looks like the owner had to leave Amarang, but was planning to come back one day. And if that day ever came, they wanted to dig up the diary and continue writing their life story. I wonder if that person's still alive. Probably not, judging by the state of this chest. Must have been buried for a long time. Maybe their children or their children's children will come in search of it. If I read the rest, maybe I can learn who this person was, and then I will put it back in a more sturdy box. And since there was no treasure to share, I'll give you this instead as payment for your hard work.
Ooh, thanks. Piece of gear? I'll take that. We don't mind gear. We take gear. That's money.
Killed it, you say? Prove it.
Here's the meat.
Very good. That beast put us through a lot of trouble, so it's about time we had something to show for it. They're usually quite harmless when they're young, but this was a vicious little bastard even then. It serves him right for mauling passers-by. If he had any sense, he would have disappeared for good. Anyway, I'll dry this meat and send it to Twine by way of apology. For you, this should be an ample reward.
600 gil. Thanks, man.
My nephew made it back alive. I was so relieved to see him. I only sent him to deliver some smoked lizard meat, but I had no idea it would end like this. Still, it's important for both Garrick and Twine to send these kinds of supplies back and forth. I wish we still had a Talos. Then my nephew would not have to go on such dangerous trips. He might be a fool, but he's a good boy at heart. Thank you for helping him to return safely. Ba 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 ba. Let's move on to the next quest. The next quest. Uh-oh. I did something wrong. Wahoo! Yippee!
Ooh, a person.
Hello, I am Sulakala Barbarison, Unga Bunga Warrior, Rah!
Ba, 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 ba.
There's good news and even better news. The good news is it's rudabite. And the even better news is it's almost entirely free of impurities. Finally, I can start making my own Nambathium.
What's this? Has the little Mr. lad actually found himself something worth a gill or two? At this rate, you might even be able to buy yourself a decent pickaxe, instead of that rusty piece of scrap you insist on carrying around. For your information, I found a vein of rudabite, which can be used to produce Damathium. Huh? You found what? Not bad for a mistle, eh? I'll admit, Will and Horther played no small part.
Why would Horther help you?
Never you mind. The point is, this is just a sample of what's in the collapsed section of the dragging tail, but I'll not pretend I can clear out the tunnels by myself. If I'm to get anywhere, I'll need the help of other miners of Twine, and that includes you lot. Just like the days before the flood, Mistel and Ronzo must work together, as their ancestors did when they built the first settlement here. What do you say? Will you help me?
So, you stumble across one lump of rubitite, and all of a sudden you're the god's gift to mining? Ha! If I thought you were spinning us a yarn, I'd have to put you on your arse by now. But the fact you'd ask us, of all people, for help, means you must be serious.
I am.
Alright, we'll do things your way.
Good. You'll soon see what we Mistel are capable of. And once Twine starts producing its own Nabathium, we'll be making Gil hand over fist. My neck. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. Who the heck is that? Why are there so many tiger people here? I can't believe this is happening. Will, I wish there was more I could do to express my thanks. I'll make something of this town. You wait and see. I'll make something of this town. You wait and see. Come on, you lot, to the dragging tail.
You heard him, lads.
Yay! Quest complete! Wahoo! Here we go! Ba ba ba. Ba ba. Ba ba ba. Ba ba. Da 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 da. Thistle mole oil. Good work. I'm not sure if the creaking had any negative effect on the mill itself, but it was bloody annoying. I suppose you're wondering what we need a windmill for in the first place, seeing as we've no crops to mill into flour. It's actually used for drawing up water from deep underground. Of course, if anything were to go wrong, we'd have serious problems on our hands, and it's my job to make sure that doesn't happen. Anyway, here's your payment. You've earned it. So, I trust everything went well. Hand over the ale. Oh. Haha! The good stuff! I wasn't joking when I said it was a matter of life and death. A day spent sober is a day not lived. I do feel a tiny bit guilty about making you risk your life fighting angry rock giants. A tiny bit. You can hardly blame a man for finding his own entertainment, though. There's not much to do around here, as you can see. But you've given me a few laughs, that's for sure. Ba-ba. It's a person. Sprinting to the next NPC.
Well, have you found a gem that's sufficiently dazzling?
Here's your banded gem.
Splendid! Simply gorgeous! I hope you did not encounter any dangers while searching for it. I hear these are produced by gnomes, and you can tell their age from the number of stripes on the stones they drop. Unfortunately, attempting to slay one of the brutes is likely to damage the precious gems that appear from its rocky hide. It's better and safer to retrieve those that have fallen naturally. In other words, where you find these stones, you'll encounter gnomes, hence my reluctance to hunt one for myself. I'm positive my lady friend will be pleased to receive such a wonderful gift, and as agreed, here's payment for your exemplary efforts.
Thanks, Andy.
I was glad to have someone hear my friend's tale, for in the telling I was able to look back on happier times. From this day forth, I will strive to uphold the ideals that we once shared. In so doing, honor his memory. Please accept this as a small token of my thanks.
There's so many lion people here. Why so lion? Why so many liars? So many Lionels. Good work, Sinner. They made it all back in one piece. They went at the meal. They went at the meal we'd prepared to take a pack of... What? They went at the meal we'd prepared like a pack of hungry coyotes. God bless this writing sometimes. Nothing beats eating your fill at the end of a hard day. Of course everyone in Twine is here to work. This is a mining town, and only those who contribute are allowed to stay. We've always got room for someone like you, though. Wonderful. Give me the gear. Never talk to me again. There you are. The boys told me what you did for them. Now, you might think they're idiots for going to Mountain Barren Mines to collect timber of all things. I mean, they're still idiots, don't get me wrong, but the idea isn't entirely without merit. You see, the closure of Daedalus Stoneworks meant that we had to rely on goods brought in from other lands, and the price range from expensive to ludicrous. That's why we try to make do with what's available, which, as you can tell, is not an awful lot. No matter how hard up we may be, we still have each other. I can't thank you enough for seeing my brothers got home safe and sound. Okay, great, thanks. Bye! Never talk to you again. Never think about you again. Completely forgot what you said already. Didn't remember the quest at all. Didn't remember what I did. Doesn't matter. Have you spoken to Kisat lately? Sure. From what I hear, his work at the Dragging Tail is proceeding apace. But it seems he's run into a problem of some sort. While I'd like to think he can handle it, whatever it is by himself, he might benefit from your advice. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I'm glad to see you made it back. How went the hunt? Here's your tail feather. And it's done. Your brother's been avenged. He was one of the best miners this place ever saw. I should have followed his footsteps instead of always trying to make a quick gill on the side. It was one of my harebrained schemes that got him killed. I'm just as much to blame as that damn bird. And ever since that day, I've been too scared to step foot outside of Twine and gave up on mining altogether. That's sad. Maybe now I could find the courage to venture farther afield and broaden my horizons. Here, you've more than earned this. 759. Alright. Okay. Unga bunga. Ah, Will, how goes it? problem? Yes, you could say that. You see, work to excavate the collapsed tunnel is underway, and we're already digging up substantial amounts of rudabite. Now I'm able to turn my attention to producing nabathium, and it's tricky to say the least. Although I've made a few attempts, the alloy is always far too brittle. I thought I'd figured out the instructions on that old scroll, but there's one point that I still can't make sense of. It's too vague, you see. Something about trusting your ears, not your eyes. My guess is they deliberately made it impossible to understand, to avoid having people outside of Naboth and Rang from stealing their secrets. They probably relied on spoken word to pass the missing information from one generation to the next. Obviously, there's nobody from ancient Naboth around to ask, so I'll have to work it out myself by looking closely at the real Nabathium. I need something large so that I can see how it differs to the ingots I've made. Scavengers dig up a lot of trinkets and whatnot, but they're too small to be of any use, not to mention expensive. Does anything spring to mind? You should ask the Mord. They're forever rooting about in the ruins, so if anybody could help me, it would be them. But who should we ask? Gun? Can't say I've ever met him, so I'd be grateful if you could introduce us. Very well. I don't know any of these people. Much appreciated. I'll go to the Dragging Tail and meet you in Mord Souk. Alright, we are making progress. This map is almost done. 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 Bada bing, bada boom, bada bow. Bada bam. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bam. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bam. Always a pleasure to meet a new customer. What can I do for you? This here. Oh really, you're quite the connoisseur. One who's clearly hungry for my sprouts. Unfortunately, I've none left. I sold all of my stock to someone from Yulmore. For rather a tidy sum, I might add. If you're as desperate as you look, perhaps you could go straight to the source. A Mord harvest, the cacti over by the lift station. If you get her to bring some to me, I'll make you a batch. I have no idea what he is talking about. What are you talking about, sir? I have not been paying attention. My medicine only works so much. It only works to an extent, man. I can't be paying attention to every little thing. You're come to my oh, he's not that old. You're come to my rescue. 1,000 blessings upon you. Though I feel that curses are more appropriate for those evil weapons, they stole my weapon of the standard non-enchanted variety. My only means of defense. That was not the only thing they took from me. They have my pack with all my supplies and apparatus inside. Would you be able to help me reclaim it? Why not? Just make it quick. I don't want to be here forever. Just make it snappy. You need the sprouts now? Lucky for you, I have picked some fresh juicy cacti. They should have quite the kick. And since you seem to be in a hurry, I'll deliver what I have to the apothecary right away. Wonderful. Something about cacti. Something about cacti. Uh-oh, monster. Big hole.
That was useful. The ruins of the Ronzil settlement, residents abandoning Kelk for the cities before the flood arrived, and thus it is known among scavengers as the prime location for finding trinkets and relics untouched by conflict. My instruments and such are largely unscathed. Most importantly, my field notes are all present and correct. I do not know what I would have done if I had lost the fruits of my research into the Church of the First Light. I dare say the name rings a bell. Most have heard of this ancient religion, yet few know of its history. If it pleases you, I may offer a relatively succinct summary of my findings. The Church of the First was one of the most widespread religions and had followers in every corner of Novrant. It began with the original inhabitants, the Elves, and eventually took root among the other races. This included not only their allies, the Humes, but the Galgant and Drawn, with whom they shared a tumultuous relationship. The Church of the First Light's influence grew to such an extent that it surpassed even that of the monarchs and rulers of the various nations. That was until the flood of light changed everything. The light that they so revered was not their salvation, but their destruction. As you may well imagine, those who survived quickly abandoned the religion, and its teachings were all but forgotten. I have made my life's work to see that these people and their ways are not similarly lost to the sands of time. Though I understand the perils involved in the exploration of ancient ruins, I feel we must do our utmost to retain what knowledge we can of the world that existed before the flood. It seems that we have dallied here long enough. However, it would be remiss of me to part from you without offering my gratitude for the retrieval of my irreplaceable research materials. I will return to Twine and give my thanks to Tolfrith for suggesting that I visit these ruins. It was a most worthwhile expedition indeed. Fare thee well. Blah. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Blech. Yuck. Blah. Blah. Thanks to your help in expanding the shipment, I've already finished preparing the first batch. As a sign of my appreciation, I've included a bit extra. Sweet dreams, friends. Oh, please tell me I'm almost done. Praise, man. Side quests. Disgusting. I should start skipping them. Who is this? A friend of yours is a friend of mine. Metal from Old Nabath. Yes, Gungun and Jamiel would be the best ones to ask, methinks, and perhaps you can help them. In return. With what? A problem, a predicament. He should still be by the North Windmill with Jamiel. Talking about ancient history, no doubt. Ah, thank you. I look forward to meeting them. Help them, eh? I suppose we'll soon find out what he meant by that.
Come on, let's go and see Gun Gun. Yeah, man, let's go see Gun Gun. Ugh. Woohoo! Yippee! After a lot of searching in ruins, we found the construction plans, made before the flood by the Nabath. As a symbol of friendship it was. Very interesting design, too. God, I don't care! Using that information, we have narrowed down the cause of the grating to the central axle, which is made for the Nabathium. Great! Shut up! I never realized it could be something of this scale. Come to think of it, its resistance to friction makes it an ideal choice for moving parts like this. But even Nabathium has its limits. The windmill has been turning for over 100 years, and as far as we can tell, this is the original axle. Never been changed. So you want to replace it, but lack the means to produce the alloy. Exactly. Since you were looking for large pieces of Nabathium, perhaps you would like to inspect the windmill. Absolutely. Best to see it from inside. Follow me. This game is good. It's fun. I like the story, but God, I want to be done with this part. This particular part. Answer your questions, did it? I've never noticed it before, but genuine Nabathium is more of a blue tinge than any of the trial ingots I've produced. That probably means the ratios listed on the scroll are false. Trust your ears, not your eyes. In other words, that was a diversion, and the true amounts were communicated verbally. Since there's no one around to tell me, I'll have to experiment with varying amounts. Wahoo! Gotta love streaming. Gotta love it. So this is okay. It will take a lot of trial and error, but now that I have something to compare it to, I'll soon work it out. Okay, can you work it out without me and without talking so much? Because this is really dragging on. Why stop there? Nabathium has the potential to attract merchants from across Norbrunt. After all, selling their alloy is one of the few Nabatha ring becomes wealthy. I can already smell the jingles. I like the sound of that. Though truth be told, I'll be content to have played my part in bringing Nabathium to the people of Almiran. Still, a few extra gil in my pocket wouldn't hurt. God. Do not forget, there's still much work to be done, and the windmill comes first, yes? Of course. But before we get too carried away, I must thank Will for introducing us. Yes, I too am very grateful. It's good to know that people outside of Mord Souks share our interest in Nabatha Rang.
consumption. Burning myself out consuming something. That is crazy. That is crazy. Crazy.
Eight hours a day, 5 days a week, for 45 years. When you express a disinterest in spending the entirety of what will likely be the healthiest and most autonomous years of your life working a job just to pay for the cost to be alive, some people will call you lazy or assume you just don't like hard work. But for me, and I think many others, it's because I believe time and labor are so valuable that I don't believe in using them carelessly, particularly when it isn't rightfully honored or fairly compensated. In a society that values material things, profit, and power above all else, the human body is merely a means for productivity, and our existence is just something to exploit. We're a vital but mistreated resource, much like the water and the land. Modern society has reached the point where our technology offers the incredible opportunity to bring to life so many things that were once unimaginable, and naturally, we use it as a conduit for greed. Instead of addressing the inequities of our world, or the fact that wealth is so disproportionately hoarded that there are people sleeping on streets or starving to death, while others have more money than they could ever spend, people use technology to create new, intangible forms of currency just to have something else to control and hoard. To them, it's never enough. But I look around and I'm overwhelmed with a deep knowing that this is enough. Air to breathe, food to eat, a place to call home, and some people and plants to call friend is enough. When you strip life down to the essentials, you see just how accessible these are when not hidden behind a paywall. It's an accepted idea that because resources and labor are required to extract or prepare the essentials like food and water, it must have a price tag to offset the cost, and that price must be passed to the individual. But this thinking relegates an invaluable life-giving resource to a cold, inanimate commodity, and it minimizes the human to a soulless consumer to be marketed and sold to. We live in a world where billionaires who make their money off the backs of the working class and C-list celebrities take multi-million-dollar flights to space just for the fun of it. Corporations seek to fill the night sky with advertisements that block out the stars, while billionaires are plummeting themselves to the uninhabitable depths of the ocean because they don't think there's anywhere their money doesn't entitle them to go, though the ocean sometimes reminds them otherwise. But trust me when I say there's no lack of money, technology, creativity, or design that render it impossible for the bare essentials of human survival to be made available for free and to fairly compensate workers for the labor to supply them. What we lack is the desire to do so, and instead have intentionally designed it to not be that way. I've unsubscribed from the notion that what's been placed in front of us is the only option, because at one point this didn't exist either. In fact, humans have only been doing life this way for a relatively short time, and at this point, it's looking more like the failing wet dream of a few deeply disturbed, miserable individuals than the advanced way of life they've tried to convince us it is. Ultimately, we know the capitalist regime will fall. Succumbing to its own unrestrained appetite, it'll eat itself alive. And in fact, it's already begun to. And in its wake, what will remain is what was here before.
I need a break. I'm taking a break. I'm just going to take a break and then come back to this in a few minutes because this is, God, so unbearable.
Also, you're a voice, not a face. It's that thing too.
And as I get older, obviously my voice is this, because I wasn't putting on a voice. I was just like 12-year-old me, which is like this. But I don't talk like that anymore.
How was your...
That's crazy. Thank you guys so much. Wow. What's the most busted hero? Don't worry about what the most busted hero is. Worry about who the coolest hero is.
No other region would do this. Only NA. Will your Annie stay with his ulti? Watch, guys. He flashes in on this Kiana in a second. Absolutely womanize the game.
You do a bicep curl. I can't just stand there like this. Yeah, you can. I've seen the guys training with me also 4 hours a day, but they look like shit. And why did they look like shit is because they didn't concentrate. They did the same exercise, but they went to this, stood like this, and then they went sideways. Kind of like they were bored. You do a bicep. Technical reset works on an internal system called the tick system, right? 1.6 seconds of instructions sent to the two.
Why is this game so boring sometimes?
Air, water, and earth. Though the devastation and dishonor of modern man will be felt, the earth will long outlast the human life form. We exist on a spectacular spinning rock, distanced so precisely from a burning star that it gives us life instead of setting us ablaze. Our beautiful ball of life is protected by a barrier within which a perfect array of ingredients exist in a perpetually renewing cycle that creates life of all kinds on every part of the planet. The water we can't survive more than a few days without flows in abundance from the sky above and from the ground beneath our feet. The oxygen we inhale is provided spontaneously by plants in a perfect exchange for the carbon dioxide we exhale. The nourishment our bodies require is readily found in plants and other organisms of our ecosystem. Our bodies are flawlessly designed to absorb the nutrients we need and expel the rest. And even what's expelled can be returned to the earth. And in an ultimate final offering, if given the chance, the death and decay of our bodies returns our life force back to the earth as nourishment for the next round of life. It is with grace, gratitude, and great fortune that we were born in this precise place at this precise time. Yet, modern human society has relegated the gift of life to something we must earn the right to enjoy. But for millennia, humanity knew the good fortune it had been afforded and lived accordingly. Our reverence for the vast knowledge and beauty of the planet and universe was integrated into our daily lives as practice and ritual. Through many timelines and ever-evolving technology, we still looked to the stars above, the dirt below, and the habitats surrounding us, knowing they hold deep wisdom and revering them as elders. We knew the differing appearance of other organisms mattered none in terms of their inherent worth or what they might be able to teach. We didn't believe humans to be superior or more deserving of the planet, and what we knew of humans relative to others within the ecosystem only deepened our connection to them. It's because I bear witness every day to the almost inconceivable interconnectedness of life on this planet that I simply can't believe I have to do anything more to earn my place here than simply exist and honor my inextricable ties to all there is. It's not that I don't or won't work. Like every other organism, I do what it takes to survive. But despite what the self-appointed rulers might have us believe, this is not the only way of doing life on this planet, and I personally don't think it's the right one. So I aim to treat my labor as an offering and extension of my gratitude for life on this earth.
Yeah? Why?
You want some lunch?
Yeah, what do you have? Oh, no, I had leftovers already. I thought you had something from the store. No, I'm good.
Engaging work that aligns with this truth. Because the best way to honor life isn't to make the most money or to collect the most things. I honor the short life I'm given by actually enjoying it and by helping the other life that makes my
Daggers are good because they attack fast and allow double attack. But what if I told you there is a better alternative? If you're hunting any medium or large-sized monsters like Anolians, Bithoris, or enchanted peach trees, curved sword will always be a superior choice. Thanks to its attack speed bonus, this sword is faster than daggers, and by equipping a Sidewinder card, we maintain double attack effect. On top of that, you get plus 25% damage against medium and large-sized monsters when compared with daggers. Did you know about this trick? Most players don't. That's why I think daggers are good because they attack fast and allow double attack.
If I was playing Spear against that, I can kite a lot more meaningfully, and I can kite without like fully running away, yeah? And on a spear, let's say I'm on Impaler, I am still, first of all, I'm a bit dangerous as a brawler compared to this. Like the dual swords has to respect my brawling a little bit. Secondly, I can E out and hit Impalers, and I'm also at least somewhat dangerous from a distance, yeah? I'm not saying that's a good fight for spear, but at least on a spear I would have options against it. So overall, I like the fact that they added like assassin shoes and made them like they added them to selection of meaningful like options that people have for good PvP. That's actually an awesome thing, you know. I like the fact that it's not only sprint on every single build. Loki, this is just a bad matchup, that's all. Yeah, but it's not just this. It's also the Assassin Shoes Death Givers. Both of those builds that's why they are played right now, because you make yourself one of the best brawlers in all of the mists. Yeah, in case of Death Givers, Q1 Death Givers, you are actually legit probably the best brawler in the mist. In terms of dual swords, I think he only gets out-brawled by Death Givers, yeah, probably. So you make yourself exceptionally scary close range, and then you just kind of disregard your mobility for the sake of just being able to stay on top of your enemy. So there's a reason why those builds are really popular, and it's because they have most of the matchups are good for them, yeah. For this dual swords, there isn't any matchup that is like straight up a big problem, except for what I'm doing, yeah. The problem is that you will get really kited. I guess Froststaff is very bad for dual swords, because Froststaff will be able to react to their W, unlike my E. The Froststaff W will be able to react to their EM. Do you ever want to make an event called play randomized builds? I've done that, yeah. I've done that on stream. Rap is crap. They don't need rejuvenating sprint. Nobody needs rejuvenating sprint. What do you mean, Shizu? So rejuvenating sprint is just if you. I would rather think of it the other way around. If you don't need something else, go for rejuvenating sprint, because it's guaranteed stable value. In any situation, any fight, you're going to get good value from the extra HP. But there's no build that needs rejuvenating sprint, right? Whereas there are some builds that full-on need energetic sprint, because you just run out of energy. Viewer 1v1 event when? Next week. I will do a day.
Welcome to Respect Games, where we respect games. This is Polo, and I'm here to give you a solo video on Guild Wars 2. I've been promising this video to the Respect community for a very long time, just to showcase how much or why I love Guild Wars 2. Now, this isn't going to be a video for long-time Guild Wars 2 players. This isn't even going to be a video for new players. This is a video to showcase why I discovered an obsession for this particular MMO. I'm gonna play a lot of MMORPGs. My main MMO that I mostly play is Black Desert Online. That is the game that I'm most known for. I played that for about 5-6 years before I stopped playing it. I've been out of the game for BDO for about 3 years now, so I have no idea what's going on there. But in Guild Wars 2, this is a different story.
I'm feeling so burned out and overwhelmed. Like, this is not fun. I'm not having fun. It's my weekend. I should be having fun on my weekend. Should be having fun on my weekend. Okay, I need a break.